All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where we are going to correct the record out there. We've had people coming asking me about an announcement that has been made by the WBA relative to relative to Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney, and also statements that have been made about the WBA relative to Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we'll be talking about three of the best lightweights, or the biggest name lightweights in the division: Gervonta Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney. Some of it is good news. Some of it is just kind of correcting a record. People have been asking me what I thought about the WBA saying that they're going to order a Devin Haney versus Gervonta Davis fight, and also Gilberto Mendoza of the WBA pretty much dismisses the rehydration clause, or at least expands the rehydration clause for Ryan Garcia that he has in place with Gervonta Davis for their fight. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, thank you to everybody that supports the channel and the super chats and the cash apps. It really, really do mean a lot to the channel. So thank you, thank you, thank you very much. But let's get into this. First thing and foremost, people are out talking about a tweet that came out from Gilberto Mendoza. And it came out a couple hours ago, and I will read it to you, and I will tell you what I think that it means, but it does not mean what a lot of people are asking me about. So I want to get to that. So what are people saying? They're saying that Gilberto Mendoza, who is the president of the WBA, says that they will be ordering a fight between Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis if they after the fight with Ryan Garcia. And they're basing that on a tweet that came out from Gilberto Mendoza. However, as I always say, reading is fundamental, and you need to look at the context and listen to what people are actually saying and not jump to conclusions. In this particular instance, let me share you with what he says. He says about the WBA not having a title despite Gervonta is the regular champion. Now, please understand that Gilberto Mendoza is Puerto Rican, and his first language is not English. What he's saying is that he's commenting on the WBA's title not being on the line, despite the fact that Gervonta is the regular champion. He then moves on to say that is not a concern. He moves on to say that the reason why it's not a concern is because the bout is important and significant for the sport. Which bout? The Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis, or the Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight. Because as you recall, this fight is at 136 pounds, not 135 pounds. So the championship belt is actually not on the line. And why is the WBA okay with that? Because it is an important fight for boxing. They then go on to say, we will wait to the result to issue a decision on whether to follow the one champion per division rule. Now, what does that mean in the context of what he just said? In the case after the result of the fight, what is the result of the fight? Who wins and who loses? And if Gervonta Davis wins or loses, they will issue a decision about the one champion per division policy. So what happens if Gervonta Davis loses? Does Ryan Garcia get that belt? No, because the belt's not on the line. Why isn't the belt on the line? Because it's not fought at the weight division, and they're okay with it because It's a fight that's important for boxing. But what happens if Gervonta Davis wins, right? If Gervonta Davis loses, right? If Gervonta Davis wins, it doesn't matter because the fight's not at the weight class. He still keeps his belt. But what happens if Ryan Garcia wins and beats Gervonta Davis for a 136 pounds title, for a 136 pound fight? They have to decide whether or not they're going to allow Gervonta Davis to keep his belt. Now, if you recall, there has been scenarios, specifically the scenario was with Guillermo Rigondeaux. When Guillermo Rigondeaux, I do believe, was the WBA 122-pound champion, and the WBA said, hey, man, if you beat Vasily Lomachenko, you're going to have a certain amount of days to decide whether or not you're going to keep that belt. But if you lose to Vasily Lomachenko, you also are going to lose the WBA championship belt. In this scenario, what it sounds like he's talking about is that he is going to, if Gervonta Davis loses, they're going to decide whether or not they're going to strip Gervonta Davis of that belt and whether they're just going to have one champion per division and get an opportunity to just say, okay, we've got one champion in that division, and that is Devin Haney. Now, does it say anywhere in there that they are going to order a fight between Devin and Gervonta? No, they do not. Doesn't say it. It says we will wait on the result and issue a decision on whether to follow the one champion per division rule. What's that? Because the WBA only wants one champion per division. And if you lose, are you going to still be a champion? And the precedent for this is, again, what happened with Guillermo Rigondeaux. So from what I read here, there's no reason to believe that the WBA is going to order a fight between Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney if Gervonta Davis wins, right? It's going to be what happens if Gervonta loses, because now he's the WBA champion, but the belt wasn't on the line. Are we going to allow him to continue to be a champion, or are we going to strip him of that belt? And that's when they're talking about the two belt rule. That's what that sounds like to me. I can't get out of that they're going to order a fight with with Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney off of that. I just think it means that if Devin loses, if Gervonta loses, they may decide to strip him. Now, the other thing that that Gilberto Mendoza said pretty much right at the same time is he talked about the weight limit for Ryan Garcia and said that, yeah, the rehydration clause, the WBA is going to be okay with the fight taking place if Ryan Garcia comes 12 pounds over the weight, not 10. So the WBA doesn't care whether or not Ryan Garcia weighs in at 146 or he weighs in as much as 148, which I can almost guarantee you he will. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.